Beverly Sills once quoted, "There are no shortcuts to any place worth going." Pondering over the saying, it's imperative that every individual must think of it as a safe haven when considering about immigration. Because an immigration process is unpredictable in nature, therefore, it is always best to have planned well in advance and approach ahead with the best possibility, positivity, and patience in our mind. Welcome to the second episode of the Immigration Pod, and today's topic is how to immigrate safely. Hi, my name is Shagun, and today we are here with Mr. Rishabh Sood, who is the founder of Transformers Immigration and Education Consultant. He has been a part of the immigration industry since 2014. His exuberant knowledge and passion about his role in helping people and guiding them has made him a successful consultant. So, today we are going to dig out the best 10 advices he has to offer to everyone. And in this part of the episode, we will share the top 5 tips he has to offer to all. Hi Rishabh, welcome to the episode.
Hi Shagun, thank you for a warm welcome and I'm really excited to connect with the audience.
First of all, I must congratulate you on the idea that you thought of educating the masses through this podcasting channel, and I wish the best of luck.
Thanks a lot Shagun. I've been thinking from some time and thought podcasting can be an innovative way to reach the masses. I feel the need to share my knowledge with as many as possible and hope it survives the purpose because there are millions around the world planning their immigration dreams. I would really be happy if I could be an inspiration to everyone out there.
Awesome sauce! As you know, today we are here to discuss on some of the very important points relating to the immigration in terms of doing it safely. Hence, I, on behalf of the audience and few listeners who connected with us recently, wanted us to answer some queries they had on how to do it the right way. Though there are many things that come under the purview of this topic, but preferably we would like to discuss top 10 things to keep in mind to ensure success in immigration process.
Sure. Let's begin, Shagun.
What is the foremost advice you have for our listeners? What can people do to avoid roadblocks in their journey of immigration?
I would say self-awareness is the first key, Shagun.
Can you elaborate on this, Rishabh?
Sure. By self-awareness, I basically mean do your homework, okay? I've come across many who say we were duped or misguided. It's a human tendency that often people tend to wait for something odd or bad to happen to realize that they should have educated themselves earlier to have avoided this situation. Many a times people come to us complaining about their bad experiences they had with some agents. And after knowing what inference I drew was that they just blindly agreed to what was verbally committed to them, without putting any efforts to substantially understand themselves.
We have often seen people like to listen or they expect to hear fancy words like guarantees of getting a visa. I think it's a colossal issue. What are your thoughts on this?
I've always guided and suggested people to stay away from 100% guarantees. See, as an aspirant, it's not bad to expect an assurance in getting your visa. But in immigration terms, there can never be a guarantee, be it for any process. If someone says he can do it, I sincerely request to stay away from them. I have a very clear statement to make in this regard, and I would like to say it in quotes. Guarantee is either with a god or a fraud. To put in simple words, immigration is all about possibilities. If you have a good profile, your chances of getting a visa gets high. It's that simple.
Very well answered, I must say.
Well, I like to keep things very crystal clear for everyone, Shagun.
So our next question is, when shall applicants think of quitting their jobs?
Oh, don't leave your jobs until your application is approved. I have met people in the past who were shown a very rosy picture of the outcome of the process, and in lieu of which they made such a foolish decision and quit their jobs as if they have not just applied to get a permanent residence, rather, the country owes them something because they will be going there. Hello? Don't ever do this. You can't be sure until you receive your stamped visa. Even if you do it, make sure you make a positive exit from your employer and don't try to build gaps in between your jobs. That may hurt your profile if you don't meet the minimum years of work experience criteria. At least make sure you have a minimum of a year's experience or employment with a specific employer. That way, it gets counted if it lies within the last 10 years of your work history.
How important is it to be proactive?
I would say don't be lazy or you might repent later, as rules may change anytime in near future, making anyone ineligible. This happened with a client of mine who started inquiring when he was almost 29 years of age. And it's almost 5 years back. Imagine if he would have applied with just bare minimum of 400 and comprehensive ranking score points on the grid, he would have been through a provincial nomination program of Ontario easily, because the competition level was quite less and the rules were pretty indifferent for every profile. But till date, he's still in the first phase of it, still inquiring. I really don't understand what is he looking for, or what is there in his life that he can't proceed. And today when he looks back, he has nothing except regret in his eyes, when he could have easily gone through considering his age, life situations, funds arrangements, responsibility, etc. etc. So I would say don't be a victim of your own decisions. Act on it while you can.
Well said, Rishabh. The last question of the session is, what's the role of discussion and planning in immigration?
Well, Shagun, planning is crucial, but the main thing is execution of your planning. It should be the utmost priority, I would say. It totally depends on person to person. Some people blatantly discuss it with their family, friends, whosoever. They review it properly, take viewpoints, and then execute, which can be time consuming in some cases, but execution is the main thing. While others keep it a secret until it's done. I won't say any of the two is good or bad, but here I would want to put a bit of stress on the word planning. I would simply quote a saying by Steve Jobs in this regard. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. I'll say once again, planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. That is why the previous point, as we mentioned here, was being proactive. That's the reason it was mentioned just before this point. So the immigration policies are not going to wait for anyone. Just go for it if all seems fine as per the requirements.
Thanks a lot, Rishabh. And this brings to the end of part 1. But before ending this session, here I have a very important quote to share. It's an inspirational quote by Rupleen. If you have a dream, don't just sit there. Gather courage to believe that you can succeed and leave no stone unturned to make it a reality.
Quite impressive, Shagun.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you for listening to the part 1 of this episode. We will cover more on this topic in the coming episode so that you may not miss any vital information to proceed safely. We would love to see your comments regarding this podcast. Get the right consultation to resolve your tangled thoughts. Feel free to approach Mr. Rishabh on his personal email ID at rishabh.swood2014@gmail.com. or call at 9646377443 7986456174. You may reach us through our social media platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter with the name Transformers Immigration and Education Consultants. Stay tuned for more topics and we hope to serve you well. This is Shagun, Certified British Council IELTS Trainer, signing off from Transformers Immigration and Education Consultants, evolving the real you.